What's going on, everyone? It is JJ Zachariason, the editor-in-chief over at FanDuel and at numberfire.com, here to do the weekly fantasy football Q&A. Only 3 more of these counting this week because it is the fantasy football playoffs. Some big news today. We have Brandon Cooks, who is inactive at the last second. That's not the best. That's not great. And I think that's the main. Oh, Leonard Fournette's not playing either. So Rojo definitely in a good spot. And if you guys want to stash someone for next week, you could look to stash Keyshawn Vaughn. I'm going to get to these questions, though, right now. Hey, JJ, Josh Allen or Kyler Murray, then Chase Claypool or CeeDee Lamb? I'm going to go Josh Allen. It looks like a tough matchup on paper, but the Steelers are hurting defensively a bit. I like his spot, actually. I think he's going to have a fine game. Kyler Murray hasn't been producing. We don't know what's going on with that shoulder exactly. I think he should bounce back a little bit, but I don't love the matchup. And then Chase Claypool or CeeDee Lamb, I'm going to go with Chase Claypool and hope that he sees more snaps than he saw last week. Washington or the Bucs defense, I'm going to go with Washington. You mentioned Marvin Jones this week on the Trend Show. Start Marvin Jones or Corey Davis in PPR. I'm going to go with Corey Davis. I love that matchup against the Jags. I think Tennessee could get right after last week's game and have a strong outing. I know a lot of people are going to be on the run game, which is understandable. Derrick Henry could go off, but don't forget about the passing game either. Marvin Jones should get Jair Alexander too, and that's not a great matchup. Full PPR pick 2, Corey Davis, Deebo Samuel, Marvin Jones. I might go with Davis. I'm going to go with Davis for sure. It's a toss-up between Samuel and Jones, in my opinion. It's a full PPR league. I might go with Deebo. I think he has a safer floor. Hey, JJ, thanks for all you do. Pick 1, if you could, please. Antonio Brown, T. Higgins, Gurley, Kiki QT, DeAndre Washington, or Duke Johnson. Need to flex 1, thanks. If this is a full PPR league, I'm going to go Antonio Brown. I think QT is very, very close. I could go either way there. DeAndre Washington. Look, I think DeAndre Washington, for all of you guys that are going to ask DeAndre Washington questions, I think DeAndre Washington could see 10 to 12, 10 to 15, maybe even touches today. Some are worried about game script. I think that's valid. But there's not that much else in that backfield. A lot of people are talking about Lynn Bowden, but Lynn Bowden last week, for what it's worth, he played almost all of his snaps from the slot, and he did that because Malcolm Perry was out. So I'm not as high on Lynn Bowden. Maybe it was a trend. Maybe last week was the start of a trend. But I think DeAndre Washington's going to see a lot of the backfield work. JJ, I love your work. Thanks. Appreciate it. Hurst or Goddard for the playoffs? I'm going to still go with Goddard, even though Jalen Hurts is starting. Half PPR, pick 1 to sit. Antonio Brown, Miles Sanders, or Josh Jacobs? I'm going to sit Miles Sanders. I hate his spot. Obviously Jordan Howard got some looks last week. That's not good. New Orleans, in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed, they're the hardest defense for a running back in fantasy. Full PPR pick 3, Michael Thomas, Godwin, Ridley, McLaurin, AB. You can throw AB out of this one. I don't think he's in that same tier. So you're looking at Michael Thomas, Godwin, Ridley, McLaurin. I am definitely going to go with Ridley and McLaurin, I think. And I think I might go with Michael Thomas as the other one, just because we might see a little bit of rotation with the Tampa Bay wide receivers. Fant or Gronk? I love Gronk today. I'm going to go with Gronk. Really good spot against a banged-up Vikings defense, up front at least. Hayden Hurst or Jordan Reed in a revenge game? Yeah, look, I like Jordan Reed a lot this week. I think Hayden Hurst is probably the play because of the scoring environment in that game, but I think it's very, very close, sort of a coin flip. Jarvis Landry, Miles Sanders, Antonio Brown, Kareem Hunt. Pick 1 in half. Need the one who will score the most points. Yeah, I'm not going to go with Miles Sanders there. I think it's down to Jarvis, Antonio Brown, and Kareem Hunt. Jarvis has a tough matchup on paper, but Baltimore's actually not been great against the slot, and he's played about half of his snaps from the slot since OBJ went down. So I might go with Jarvis there, knowing that Antonio Brown probably has the highest ceiling of that group. PPR, Fant or Goddard? I'm going to go with probably Goddard. Pick 2 of Zeke, McKissick, Davis, and Hines. I'm going to go with Zeke and Davis. Help a CMC manager out, DeAndre or Gio. I think Gio's a little bit safer. To me, he's like a fringe top 20 option this week. Just so you guys know, I'm putting it out in the universe. I am starting Gio Bernard in a PPR league over Miles Sanders. I don't know really which direction I want to go in, but I'm going with Gio just because of the matchup. Both are kind of bad options overall just because the Bengals offense has not been very good. But I would go Gio over DeAndre. I think his workload is a little bit safer. Choose one in PPR, McKissick, Chark, Hansen. Thanks, JJ. I will go with Chark. I think he's in a good spot. His target shares haven't been amazing, but they also haven't been horrible, and he's in a really good spot against this Tennessee secondary. PPR flex, Miles Sanders, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Washington. I'm going to go with Antonio Brown. The erratic Matt Ryan or the dependable Phillip Rivers, 6.9 point touchdowns. I will probably go with Rivers there. I think at least he has the floor. The splits, we know the splits without Julio Jones for Matt Ryan this year. They've not been that pretty. And I'll be honest, I like that Chargers-Falcons game a lot. And I think that you should be stacking that game in DFS. But I am surprised that the over-under didn't get over 50. I thought it was going to be like 52. So that scares me a little bit with the quarterbacks in that game. I like both quarterbacks, though, but I'd still go with Rivers. I think he's just in a dependable spot. He's been dependable. Hey, JJ, half PPR, Kenyon Drake, Mike Davis, JD McKissick, Kenyon Drake. So 2 Kenyon Drakes. I'm going to go with Drake and Mike Davis there. PPR, need my last flex spot. Claypool, Gio, Barber, Duke, or should I pick up and play DeAndre Washington? I'm going to go with, I guess, Gio there. Pedigree of Baltimore at defense versus Cleveland, or target the opponent of Carolina versus Denver. I'm predicting a tilt either way. Yeah, I love Carolina's defense today. I think they're like a top 5 option. So I'm going to go with Carolina. I know it's a little bit risky. Definitely hold on to Baltimore. They have a good schedule throughout the playoffs, but I do like Carolina a lot. It's close. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I want to go Baltimore. I think Baltimore's safer, I should say. But Carolina, definitely the best streamer for me. Half PPR, Travis Kelce or LOL. Yeah, Travis Kelce over everyone. Hayden Hurst or Dalton Schultz in half PPR. Probably going Hayden Hurst there. Tom Brady or Taysom Hill. This one's pretty tough. I think Brady is a strong play this week. I think that he's a very, very good DFS play too. Taysom Hill, though, Philadelphia has been really bad against rushing quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks. We saw that against Daniel Jones a couple times this year. We saw that against Lamar Jackson this year. I think Hill has the floor for you, probably the safer play. So I'd probably lean his way, but I don't mind Brady whatsoever. Hey, JJ, Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor today in full PPR? It just depends on risk tolerance. I think Jacobs hypothetically is the better play. But, if both of them see a similar snap count, let's say, because Jacobs is coming off this injury, then Jonathan Taylor has the better matchup, technically. So I would probably play Jacobs with the higher risk, higher variance type option. That's what he is. But I think that's pretty close. Jonathan Taylor in a really, really good spot. But I think Jonathan Taylor's a little bit overvalued by the consensus just because of what his workload actually is. Half PPR, Kiki QT or Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams could have a monster day today. He's 3rd in the NFL among relevant wide receivers and average depth of target, and Atlanta has allowed the most 15-plus air yard completions this year. So Mike Williams in a great spot. Kiki QT obviously should see, he could reach 10 targets pretty easily, so he's a safe option, but Williams is definitely your go big or go home option. Noah Fant or Robert Tonyan. I'm probably going to lean Fant there. Pick 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs in a flex. Okay, that's way too many. I'm sorry, Travis. Half PPR, expected to win by 15. Start Josh Jacobs, Debo, or Ayuk. I would go Josh Jacobs, I think. Actually, yeah, Josh Jacobs or Ayuk. Ayuk has been awesome. It's just not the greatest matchup in the world, and the game environment isn't great. I still think Jacobs is going to give you some sort of floor. So I would probably lean his way, but I think Ayuk is close. Good morning, and thank you for your time and expertise. Half PPR, Marvin Jones or CeeDee Lamb. I know that Marvin Jones has a bad cornerback matchup, but I'm going to go with him there. Full PPR flex, McKissick, Beasley, or T.Y. Hilton. I really like Beasley against the Steelers. I think that since this is a full PPR format, I like T.Y. Hilton for sure today, seeing a little bit more work in that offense. McKissick should see more work as well, but I don't know if they're going to just reach this massive negative game script for him to just see a bunch of dump offs. I might go Cole Beasley there. I really like his matchup against the Steelers in the slot. Jamal Williams or Chase Edmonds, Fant or Tonyan. I'm going to go Fant. And then I'll probably go Chase Edmonds. The Giants have not been good against receiving running backs, pass-catching running backs, giving up the second most receptions and the second highest percentage of receiving yards allowed to that position. So I like Chase Edmonds. Packers D or the Texans D. I'm going to go with the Packers D. Full PPR, pick 3, DeAndre Swift, Kiki QT, Wayne Gallman, Jonathan Taylor. I think DeAndre Swift has a really high ceiling. It's just that we don't know what his snap count's going to look like exactly. So I think he's the least safe of this group, but I think he has the highest ceiling of this group. So depending on what you need, I would go in that direction. If you want the highest ceiling, I would probably bench either Taylor or Gallman there. But yeah, Swift to me is a high variance play this week. Really good for GPPs. Corey Davis or Chris Godwin. I'd probably lean Godwin, but I love Davis. Hey, JJ, thanks for doing this. Actually, I might go Davis over Godwin. My bad. I'm going to go Davis. Hey, JJ, thanks for doing this. 6-point passing touchdown league. Jalen Hurts or Drew Lock? I mean, can I say neither of them? I guess I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts here, but I don't love either option at all this week. In standard, pick 2, Michael Thomas, Godwin, Gio, Singletary. You can throw Singletary out. I would go with both wide receivers. Hey, JJ, love the pod. Thanks. In half PPR, would you start Connor, Hilton, Shepard, or Hollywood at the flex? Hill and Cousins at QB. I would start Hill at QB, I think. And I would probably go with Connor. I say that hesitantly, but I'd probably go Connor. Pick 1 in half PPR, Giovanni Bernard, DeAndre Washington, Duke Johnson, Crowder, or T. Higgins. So it doesn't sound that great for Jamison Crowder because he didn't practice on Friday. Usually that's a sign that they're not going to play. Braxton Berrios, as a result, is a deeper sleeper this week. I think he's kind of a decent punt in DFS too. Gio Bernard, DeAndre Washington, Duke Johnson. I'm probably going to go Gio there. I'm not starting T. Higgins. I just don't want to start a pass catcher on that team. Claypool, Pittman, or Goddard. I'm going to go with Claypool there. It's tight end premium, though. I think I'd still go with Claypool, but it's close. I mean, I could make a case for any of these guys. That one's really tough. I'm sorry, Dustin. Pick 2 in half PPR, Claypool, Chark, or Melvin Gordon. That one I'm going to go with Chark. DeAndre Swift or J.K. Dobbins. Again, this just depends on your risk tolerance. I think Dobbins is a little bit safer. DeAndre Swift has more upside. It's the playoffs, so go for that upside. Ryan or Trubisky. Yikes. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ryan there. I don't really want to start Trubisky if I don't have to. Houston's a great matchup for sure. No Bradley Roby. They've been a lot worse without him in the 2 games that he hasn't played. But I'm gonna go with Matt Ryan. I just like that game environment a little bit more, especially with Brandon Cooks not playing. Houston might not be able to move the ball that well. I like them a little bit more with I would like Trubisky a little bit more if Brandon Cooks were playing. Duke or Gallup. I'm gonna go Duke. 2 for Miles Sanders, T. Higgins, Marvin Jones, Duke, and AB. I'm going to go with probably Marvin Jones and Duke, but I think you can make the case for Marvin Jones and AB. Just depends on what sort of I think Duke is probably a little bit safer, like has the highest floor. But since this is full PPR, you could go Jones and AB. Gio or Jacobs, flex position, I'd still go Jacobs, I think. Taysom Hill or Big Ben. I am going to go with Taysom Hill. Gronk or Gesicki, I'm going to go with Gronk. T. Higgins or Lamb. I guess Lamb. Okay, now that Fournette and Cooks have been ruled out half PPR flex, who do you start? Hanson, Tim Patrick, Nelson Aguilar, or Darnell Mooney. I love Darnell Mooney today. He's one of my deeper sleepers. I talked about him on my podcast. He's seeing a lot of air yards, seeing a lot of deep ball passes and targets to him. And this is a Houston secondary that can be beat. So I kind of like Mooney. PPR, 1 of Swift, Drake, Edmonds, or Mike Davis. I think Mike Davis is probably the safest play there. I'd probably go with him. Bernard, Gordon, or Hunt, PPR, choose 1. Thanks for your help. I will go with Gordon there. Sanders or Washington. I'm assuming this is Miles Sanders or DeAndre Washington. I'm going to go with Miles Sanders just because we don't know exactly what DeAndre Washington's workload is going to look like. But it would not shock me whatsoever if Washington ends up outscoring Miles Sanders today. Half PPR, you got Chad Hansen. I already answered this one. Or maybe I didn't. Sorry. Chad Hansen, Tim Patrick, Sterling Shepard, Brashad Perriman, Alan Lazard, or Gabriel Davis. You're choosing 1. I would probably choose Perriman. DeAndre Washington, Crowder, or Perriman. I think I go Perriman since this is full PPR. Again, I don't think you can trust Jamison Crowder today. Ryan, Dalton, Rivers, or Stafford. I am going to go with Stafford. Hunt, Dobbins, or Mostert. I'd probably risk it with Mostert. Defense needs San Francisco or Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with San Francisco there. Need help, half PPR flex, Dobbins, CEH, or Gordon. I'm going to go CEH. I actually think he's in a really underrated spot. Good GPP play this week. Sanders or Antonio Brown in standard. I'm going to go with AB. Starting Deontay Johnson over Lockett in standard. How do you feel about this? Look, I feel fine. Lockett has been very, very up and down. He's been like the wide receiver 48 or something since that big game against Arizona. So, yeah, he's in a great spot. Don't get me wrong. Tyler Lockett could go absolutely bonkers today, and none of us would flinch because this Jets secondary is really, really bad. But Deontay Johnson is a stud. I mean, he's seeing a lot of work. I wish this was a PPR league for you, but I still would play Deontay over Tyler Lockett. Mostert, Kiki QT, or DJ Chark in the flex. I'm going to go with Chark. Landry or Ayuk. I think Ayuk has just been playing really well. I'd probably lean his way, both in not great matchups. Desperately need a high floor play, full PPR. Choose 1. Debo, Kiki QT, Pittman, Curtis Samuel. Love your show. I love Curtis Samuel this week. The Denver secondary really beat up You don't have AJ Boye because he was using PEDs like the other Texans were. I might go with Curtis Samuel there. I think he's just in a really good spot. The other thing too, no CMC. He could see some backfield looks and see some of those dump offs too. So Curtis Samuel to me is a pretty strong play today. Antonio Brown or Nick Chubb. I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. T.Y. Hilton, Chase Edmonds, or Hollywood Brown, full PPR. Thanks, JJ. I will go with T.Y. Hilton there. Flex for PPR between David Montgomery, Ayuk, and Chark. David Montgomery. Montgomery's in a great spot. Ever since Tariq Cohen went down early in the season, he's been seeing a decent target share, seeing a good backfield share. Now he gets Houston, who has been horrendous at stopping the run and horrendous defensively. You're playing David Montgomery today. Let's see. McKissick or Mark Andrews in PPR. This one's kind of weird because I haven't really thought about Mark Andrews much this week. I think I'd probably play Andrews, but it's close. Half PPR, James Conner or Jonathan Taylor. I'd probably go Conner. Landry or Ayuk. I'd probably go Ayuk. I think I just answered that one. Just skipped ahead a little bit. Sorry, guys. Robbie Anderson, Michael Thomas, Kiki QT, Mike Williams. This is, to me, Robbie Anderson and Michael Thomas. But I like Kiki. I think he's a good play. Mike Williams, I think, is a really good play. Has the matchup for sure. But I'm going to go with Robbie and Michael Thomas there. Pick 2 PPR, Sanders, Hunt, or Dobbins. I'm going to go with Hunt and Dobbins. PPR, Michael Thomas or Calvin Ridley. I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. I think he's in a good spot. Hollywood or T.Y. I'll go T.Y. Hunter or Andrews. I'm assuming that's Hunter Henry. I'm going to go with Andrews. PPR pick 1, Gurley, Hunt, Edmonds, or even Murray for my RB2. I will go with Hunt. Choose 2, full PPR, CEH, Kareem Hunt, Bernard. I will go CEH and probably Bernard. PPR pick 1, Boyd, Gallup, or Hanson. I don't love any of these players all that much this week. Hanson might be the play, but I'd probably play Boyd. Let's see. Miles Sanders, Hunter Henry, DeAndre Swift. I'm not playing Miles Sanders. I'm playing DeAndre Swift there. Elliott or Zeke Elliott or Rojo. I would probably play Zeke. I just trust his receiving workload a little bit more, and the matchup is really good. But look, I love Rojo this week. He to me is one of the best values over on FanDuel. Hey, JJ, Gallman or Mostert in half PPR. Thank you. I'd probably go Gallman. Mostert just hasn't seen as big of a backfield share as we would like. But again, I think this is close, to be fair, but I would probably go Gallman. Jamal Williams or Miles Sanders. I'm going Miles Sanders there. PPR, please pick 2, Jonathan Taylor, Kamara, or McKissick. I'm going to go with the first 2. Half PPR, Anderson, Swift, or Cooper. I will go with Anderson for a floor, Swift for a very high ceiling. Pick 2, CEH, Drake, or Dobbins. I think I'm benching Dobbins there. Half PPR, Deontay, Jacobs, or McKissick. I'm going Deontay. AB, Ayuk, CEH, and Connor. Pick 2. I will pick the 2 running backs more than likely. Let's see. Half PPR, Ronald Jones or Kiki QT. I am going with Ronald Jones. Stafford or Rivers. I will go with Stafford. Swift or Peyton Barber. I'm going with Swift. Perriman or Mooney. I think Perriman is probably the safer play, but I do like Darnell Mooney a lot. Thanks for all your advice this season. I'm in the playoffs today. I need one of QT, Sterling Shepard, CeeDee Lamb. I'm going with Kiki QT. But I think you can make a case for Shepard. I like Shepard a little bit too. Waller or Henry. You got to play Darren Waller. Washington, Cowboys, or Chiefs D. I will go with Washington there. Hey, JJ, sit 1, wide receiver, Robinson, McLaurin, Diggs, Jefferson. My goodness. I guess, oh my gosh. I guess I'm sitting McLaurin of those 4. But I think McLaurin's in a great spot. The fact that you have these 4 wide receivers is amazing. Chiefs or Steelers. I will play the Steelers. And then Ayuk, Higgins, or Chark. I am going to go with Chark as a ceiling, Ayuk as more of a floor. And is Jones Jr. a must start? No, he's not a must start. Hey, JJ, Gio Bernard or Miles Sanders. I have that exact same scenario, and it's going. I know I'm going to be tilting over it later today. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm going Gio Bernard. I'm going to be frustrated. If he scores a touchdown, you'll probably see me tweet about it. But yeah, I'm going Gio over Miles Sanders, and I'm going to be crying about it in the shower later today. Ezekiel Elliott or Rojo, I already talked about that one. I'm leaning Zeke, even though I love Rojo. Tunyon or Ebron. Probably go Tunyon. I like that game environment a lot. Gallman or Washington. I'm going to go Gallman over Washington, assuming that's DeAndre Washington. Perriman, Higgins, Hilton. Pick 1. I'll go Hilton there. JJ, thank you. Been killing it the past 2 years. This just isn't my year. Pick 2, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Washington, DJ Chark, McKissick, half PPR. I'm going to go with Jacobs and Chark there. Need to start one in full PPR, Devontae Parker or James Conner or Swift. I'd probably go with Swift. I think that there's just a lot of upside there still. Chark, Ayuk, Deontay. I'd go Deontay. Need real help. Dude, need real help. It's like someone's like an actual like hazardous health. Half PPR need 2. Robbie Anderson, Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders, Corey Davis. I'm going to go with the wide receivers there. Watson, Rivers, or Trubisky. I think you still have to go with Deshaun Watson because of his rushing floor. Hey, JJ, half PPR, Devontae Parker or Antonio Brown. Probably going Devontae Parker there. Pick 2, please. CEH, Drake, or Debo for standard flex. If it's standard, I'm going CEH and Drake. Any concerns with the weather as far as DFS is concerned today? Not that I saw. Nothing concerning. I think the only concerning game is tomorrow night, but it's not even that concerning. JJ, pick 2, CEH, Drake, or Dobbins. I think I already answered this one, CEH and Drake. QB situation is awful. Tua, Carr, or Trubisky. And JJ, I trust. I'm probably going to go Trubisky there. Carr, not in a great spot. Tua could see a little bit of upside there today against the Chiefs, but they've been decent against quarterbacks. Their secondary has been playing fine because they can generate good pressure. I guess that's where I'm going Trubisky, but I don't fully trust that. I mean, it's not a great spot. Josh Allen or Taysom Hill. I'm going to go Josh Allen there. Drake or Gordon. I'll go Drake. Half PPR, Landry or Washington. I will go Landry. Chark, Ayuk, or Godwin. I will go Godwin. Hansen or Washington, PPR season-long flex. I'll go Washington. Let's see. I just lost my spot again. Duke Johnson or Gio. I'm leaning Gio. A.J. Brown, Josh Jacobs, Deontay Johnson, Melvin Gordon. Pick 2, I am going Deontay and A.J. Brown. Pick 1, Pittman, Gallup, or Boyd. I'm going Pittman. Gio, Duke, Kareem, Parker. I will go Gio. Landry or Robbie Anderson. I'll go Robbie Anderson. I really like the Carolina pass catchers today. Will Lutz at Philly or Suckup against Minnesota. I'll go with Ryan Suckup, but I think both of them work. Top cash running back this week. Probably David Montgomery. If you're looking at more of a value play, he's probably the best value at the running back position. But you know, if you're looking straight up without salary, I think Derrick Henry is the best play. Pick 2, full PPR, T.Y. Hilton, Antonio Brown, Kiki QT, Marquise Brown. Thank you. Can't go one and done in the playoffs. Yeah, I hope you don't. I'm going to go with QT and between Hilton and AB. I'd probably go Hilton, but just because of what happened in AB's last game. But I'm higher on AB than the consensus for what it's worth. Sit 1, Ayuk, Deontay, or Chark. I guess Chark because Ayuk has been doing what he's been doing and seeing this massive target share. Deontay is Deontay. I guess Chark would be it, even though I like his spot a whole lot. Full PPR, pick 1, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Washington, Duke Johnson, or Chase Edmonds. I'll go J.K. AB or Ayuk, probably Ayuk. Connor or CEH. Noah Fant or Hayden Hurst. I think I'd go Noah Fant. Bench 1, Marvin, Amari, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that I'm benching Amari, actually. Thanks, JJ. You were the best 30 minutes all week. Bethany, thank you. I really appreciate that. 2 PPR tight end, Logan Thomas, Hurst, or your boy, Cole Kmet. These are kind of all my boys. I really like Logan Thomas, obviously. I mean, I've been talking him up all season long. I was only right last week. Hayden Hurst, he's fine enough. I don't love him per se. I would probably go Logan Thomas there. Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams, or DeAndre Washington. I think I'd go Miles Sanders there. Jared Cook or Jordan Reed. I'm going Jordan Reed. Lost my spot. I'm going to scroll up just to find this because there we go. JJ, thanks for a great job every week. Looking to start 2, Amari, Juju, and Lazard. I would go with the first 2 only because it sounds like we don't know exactly how many snaps Lazard is going to play, which is very frustrating because he's easily the second best wide receiver on that team. Reed or Goddard, I'm going Goddard. Mike Evans in DFS. Yes, I like Mike Evans in DFS. Full PPR, pick 1, DJ Chark, Debo, Darnell Mooney. I'm going DJ Chark. Pick 2, half PPR, Dobbins, Gordon, Chark, or Claypool. I will go Chark and Dobbins, but it's close with Gordon. I mean, it's close with all of them. Half PPR, DeAndre Washington, Jeff Wilson, Latavius Murray, or Ty Johnson. I don't think that you can play Ty Johnson unless we hear something about Frank Gore, unless I missed it too. I'm probably going to risk it with DeAndre Washington. I'm actually playing DeAndre Washington over Latavius in the league myself. Eckler or Rojo, Eckler, Elliott, or Rojo. Sorry, PPR. I'm going Eckler there. Thoughts on Duke today? Duke or Dobbins? I'm going to go Dobbins, but you know, I don't think the Houston offense is nearly as attractive without Brandon Cooks. I know it's just one player, but they don't really have anyone who can consistently stretch the field, and that kind of concerns me. I mean, Deshaun Watson's throwing to literal backups today. Flex half PPR, Miles Sanders, Shepard, or Hollywood. Oh, man, that one's tough. I'd probably go Hollywood. I think the upside's there. He's been seeing a little bit better, more of a workload in that offense. Standard Miles Sanders or Duke Johnson. I'm going to go with Duke Johnson, I think. Taysom Hill or Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill has a huge ceiling today, but I think Taysom Hill's a little bit safer with that rushing floor. PPR tight end premium, Reed or Kirk. That's Christian Kirk, I'm assuming. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk. Connor or McKissick in full PPR. I'm going with Connor. Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson. I'm going Russell Wilson. Hey, JJ, full PPR, start Cooks, Crowder, or Corey Davis. You're not starting Crowder. You're not starting Cooks. Crowder might not play. Brandon Cooks is already out. You're starting Corey Davis. He would have been my answer regardless, though. Gronk or Tunyon, I'm going Gronk. Hey, JJ, longtime listener, pick 3, 1 point PPR. Ayuk, QT, Jonathan Taylor, Chark, and Jacobs. I love all these options for one reason or another. I mean, Jacobs I don't love, but he's obviously he's capable of having a really high ceiling. I'm probably going to bench QT and Taylor there. But I can go in a lot of different directions. Perriman or Antonio Brown in PPR. I think I'd go AB just because there's a chance the Jets offense doesn't move the ball very well. Do we like QT or Ayuk more? I'd go with Ayuk just given the way he's been playing. Ayuk, Higgins, or Kiki. I'm going Ayuk. Please pick 2 in standard. Gallman, David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt. Definitely going David Montgomery. I think I'd go Gallman over Kareem Hunt. Gio or Pittman in half PPR. I think I'd go Gio. Scary Terry or Lockett in non-PPR. I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin over Lockett because Lockett hasn't been performing. Half PPR, Josh Jacobs, Gio, or Dobbins. I will go with Jacobs there. Pick a flex, full PPR, Mike Williams, Kenyon Drake, Brandon Ayuk. I like all 3 of these guys. I think Kenyon Drake is the safest. He has the highest floor. I think Mike Williams has the highest ceiling. So if you want someone in between, it's Brandon Ayuk. Chark or Ayuk in PPR. I would probably lean Chark. I think he has a higher ceiling this week, but I like Ayuk, as I've been saying. Full PPR, Ebron or Gesicki. I think I'd lean Gesicki. AJ Brown, Ridley, CEH, and standard. I think I would have a hard time starting or benching one of AJ Brown or Ridley. So I'm going with the wide receivers. Swift or Rojo. Thanks, JJ. I'm going Rojo. Claypool or Debo. I'm going Debo. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Gio Bernard. I'm going CEH. Jacobs or Swift. Both of them are questionable. Their workload's a little bit questionable, I should say. I guess I'm going Jacobs, but I can make an easy argument for Swift. I think Swift has a higher ceiling. Dobbins or Duke. I'll go Dobbins. Full PPR pick 2. Ridley, you're playing Ridley. Boyd or Claypool, so it comes down to Boyd or Claypool. I'm going to go with Claypool. Hey, Joe Flacco. Help me choose 1 half point PPR. Mike Williams, Beasley, or CEH. I'm going to go with CEH. Connor or Gordon. I'm going to lean Connor a little bit there. Ayuk or Samuel in PPR. I think Ayuk is the play. He's just been seeing more work in that offense. Corey Davis or Chris Godwin. I think I said Corey Davis earlier. I'm going to go with Corey Davis there. Chark or Kiki QT. I think Chark is in play this week. Great matchup for him. QT is a higher floor play for sure, though. Panthers defense or the Washington defense. I'm going to lean Carolina. Corey Davis, DeAndre Swift in full PPR. I'm going to go Corey Davis. Ayuk, Tyler Boyd, or Kiki QT. I will go with Brandon Ayuk. Kyler Murray or Taysom Hill in standard. Risk tolerance, Kyler Murray hasn't been playing very well. It could be his shoulder, but he did get his whole practice in, or all practices in this week. I'm probably still going to go Taysom Hill. I think he has a higher rushing floor until we see that from Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray's not in the best spot in the world. Juju, Claypool, and Swift pick 2. I am going to go, I don't want to play both Steeler wide receivers, so I'm going to go Claypool and Swift. I do think Juju's safer than Claypool, so see where you're at going into that game and then switch accordingly. Chark or Debo in PPR. I am going to go with Chark. Apparently, I like DJ Chark this week. I liked him last week, and he didn't come through, though. Swift, McKissick, or Gallman in full PPR, please pick 2. I'm going to go with Swift and Gallman. AB or Tim Patrick, rest of season standard. I'm going to go AB. They have a good schedule. The Buccaneers passing attack does. Chark, Boyd, Hunt, Samuel, full PPR, need highest ceiling. I think the highest ceiling is between Chark and is that Debo Samuel or Curtis Samuel? Since I don't know, I guess just go Chark. Full PPR, start Corey Davis or Kiki QT. I'm going to go with Corey Davis. I only have a couple more that I can answer here because it is 12:30. Start 2 in PPR, Thomas, Ridley, and Diggs. I guess I'm benching Thomas there. Thanks for all the help. I need 2.5 PPR. Lamb, Landry, and Duke Johnson. I'm going to bench CD Lamb. I got to head out of here, though, guys. Throat's already getting messed up. I got to head out. Good luck this week. Week 14, the playoffs. Thanks to Calvin Theobald, our video producer, for putting this on every single week. Otherwise, guys, I will talk to you early next week. Good luck.